What do most people associate meditations with? Now, we're very learned here. We're very worldly here. But what is the average person? If you say meditation, what does the average person think about? What do they connect it with? Hippies. Sit in a quiet, dark room. Yeah. So, hippie, or, you must be one of them there Buddhist. Okay? I'm a good old Pennsylvania Dutch Mennonite. We don't meditate. Oh, really? What is prayer? Prayer is meditation. And if you study the Bible often talks about meditate, let your heart meditate on these words. Right? So people have this misconception of what it is. And a lot of it has been propagated by our past history. And when we don't understand the past, as Winston Churchill was famous for quoting, those who do not learn from the past are destined to repeat it. So there are a lot of things about mindfulness, and particularly meditation, that are linked to religious practices. They are linked to mystical practices. But once again, these are only facets of what mindfulness and what meditation are all about. So the purpose of me writing the book was to dispel many of the myths so that people who were not particularly interested in the woo-woo could say, this is absolutely something I need to do because of all these wonderful benefits. And for the people who are cool with the woo-woo, to provide a solid basis of understanding of the deeper mechanics. When you meditate, you actually change your brain. You physically change your brain. You increase gray matter in the portions of our brain that deal with our executive functioning, that deal with our memory, our ability to do tasks. And it reduces a different portion of the brain. It reduces the portion, the amygdala, that's tied into that fight or flight, our fears, our anxieties. So when you become aware of that, and this is why I really stress the importance of people who don't want to practice mindfulness, meditation, any of our so-called, I'm using the word wrong again, holistic practices, to understand the scientific. Because if you're someone like me, your ability to talk to people and meet people where they're at is important. Okay? If you're spiritual, I can talk spiritual crunchy granola with you. And that's great. But if like Carol's husband, who's a retired scientist, if I got some of Ed's buddies from the psychology department to come in, and I start talking about chi and, they're going to immediately shut me down. But if I start talking about, okay, well, when you do this, this is going to affect the hippocampus in this way. If I can talk about how new neurons are being formed, how old connections are being disconnected, they'll suddenly become very interested. And then if I have somebody who has no desire to be spiritual, they have no desire to know anything about how the brain works, they just want to know how to not be stressed. How can I relax as quickly as possible without taking medication? I need to be able to talk to them the way that they understand it. So it's critical to, the more you understand it from the different angles, the easier it is to explain to others. And honestly, for me, the best way for me to learn something is to teach it. Because when you learn how to teach it, how to share it in a way others understand it, it deepens your understanding.